Marine veteran Brad Houshour is bringing on the Man Mug, a stainless steel drinking vessel made in America, on episode 135 of Veteran on the Move.
Welcome to Veteran on the Move. If you're a veteran in transition, an entrepreneur wannabe, or someone still stuck in that JOB trying to escape, this podcast is dedicated to your success. And now, your host, Joe Crane.
Have you checked out the Veteran on the Move YouTube channel? In addition to listening to any podcast episode, you can join our live stream. I'm starting a new project soon, and you can watch us live on YouTube as I walk a soon-to-be veteran through his transition out of the military over the next year. Join us live as we take this veteran through the transition process and into the civilian sector. Also, these live streams will be archived on the Veteran on the Move YouTube channel to watch if you can't make it for the live airing. Make sure you subscribe to the Veteran on the Move YouTube channel, and you will be notified when we go live with our new project on transition. The top 7 paths to freedom is my free gift to you for listening to the show, featuring 7 great ways for a veteran to take their first step into the exciting world of entrepreneurship. To receive your free gift, go to veteranonthemove.com, or if you're listening on a mobile device, you can text the word veteran to 38470. Marine veteran Brad Houshour is the founder and partner of Man Mug. The Man Mug is a double-walled stainless steel beer mug that's perfect for coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon, and beer and cocktails in the evening. Being a veteran and patriot, Brad wanted his product to be made in the USA, but there was a big problem. He couldn't find a manufacturer that could produce his product at an affordable price. After 18 months of searching, he finally found a U.S. partner and is moving forward. In December of this year, his company will be the first to produce a stainless steel drinking vessel in the United States. All right, Brad Houshour is on the line with us today, and you're going to tell us all about your Man Mug that you guys are making, and you're actually making it here in the U.S., which is great. But before we get to talking about that, tell us a little bit about your background, and understand you've also got some business partners involved in this also.
Yeah. Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me on. Honored to be on the show. I am a prior service Marine. A long time ago, I got out in 1997. I was at 0341 while I was in. Yeah, there we go. Got out of service, and I moved to LA and started doing music production, working in a music studio. I was a sound engineer by trade. That transferred into me getting into video production. So I now have a day job doing video production. But about 5 years ago, I really caught the entrepreneur bug, and I started listening to podcasts every day. I started building websites and monetizing them using Google AdSense, things like that. Got a decent little side income going until one day I listened to a podcast where the host was talking about selling white label products on Amazon. And that sounded very intriguing to me. I'd been looking to maybe do a physical product, but I wasn't exactly sure how to get started on that. So I basically took all the advice that they gave me, found a product, found a manufacturer, and started selling it on Amazon. And that's kind of how I got started.
Interesting. We're right in the middle of my wife and I are right in the middle of a private label Amazon product launch.
Yeah, there you go.
What a coincidence. Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that. So yeah. Is what you're producing, is that your main mission, is to find something that you're going to produce on Amazon, or is there a whole nother
Well, it really started out as a solely passive income selling on Amazon. Mm-hmm. Me being a prior service Marine, I really wanted to find a U.S. manufacturer for the mug. It just didn't feel right to me to have to go overseas. So I started looking for a U.S. manufacturer and just could not find one. So I ended up, buying from China, just like everybody else does, it seems like. But it just never sat right with me. So I started looking about 18 months ago, just kind of beating the pavement, contacting every steel manufacturer I could find. Just kept getting the same answer. No, they couldn't do it. And 2, if I found a company to make it, it wouldn't be cost prohibitive and it would be too expensive for the consumer. But you know how Marines are. We don't take no for an answer. So I just kept knocking on doors until I found the right guy. And I really think I found the perfect U.S. partner for us.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. My own experience with that was probably back around January. We started this process, and I tried to find an American manufacturer.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it. I mean, it was like, well, it's owe me $20,000 up front, and I'm like, holy cow, dude, I haven't even sold one yet. I mean, it's like if you're a small time guy trying to get started, they don't even want to talk to you. And, and they don't call you back, and they're real slow with email response. And then you get on Alibaba or some other place, and you start talking to these Chinese guys, and they're like, bam, 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 bam. Next thing you know, they're making your product for you.
Yeah, they're great salesmen. I was a little shocked. I knew that there was a problem in the U.S. with manufacturing. Hear about it on the news all the time, but I didn't realize how big a problem it was. People just aren't making products in America anymore. It's frustrating.
So I'm real curious. I mean, since you just have gone through this exact same thing, I mean, my impression is it's like this American mentality or something, or they only want to deal with large retail houses or large companies. They're not in. It's or they've got so much business they don't know what to do with, or I don't know what it is. But I got the cold shoulder several times when I walked into the place. You're like, what do you want? What? And they immediately start asking, well, how many do you think you're going to be making more than this? I'm like, yeah, probably. And then they'll talk to you, and then you don't hear from them for like 2 weeks until you call them.
I was sending out samples of mugs to these guys, and I'm paying for the shipping. I'm giving them free mugs. And then I wouldn't hear anything back from them. So I would have to hunt them down. And it was very frustrating at first. And it was very easy to just, give up. But I think, after literally a year and a half of, beating down doors, I kind of figured it out that, it's as big a risk for these guys as it is for us. So they're going to have to make the mold. They're going to have to maybe hire additional people. So they need to know that it's going to be worthwhile and that you're not going to go bust after, 1,000 units. So I'm starting to kind of see their point of view, but I think their approach is, pretty bad.
Yeah. I've had the exact same, I mean, I've got to hunt them down, and then we correspond. I give them what they ask for, and then I got to hunt them down again. I'm the one always doing the follow-up, and I'm talking to salespeople.
Right. Exactly. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've done everything I can to try to, and even though we've got this first version made in China, I'm trying to do a secondary version in the U.S. Now that I've been through the process once, I'm still having a hard time. I mean, I'm showing them my finished product that I get made in China. I said, I want a different version of this. Can you do it? And they're like, oh. Yeah, it's like roadblock after roadblock after. It's like, okay, you really don't want things to be made in the USA, do you? I mean, that's like my impression I've gotten from these guys.
And I think that's the problem. So, you and I had the exact same problem, and I guarantee everybody else out there trying to get their product made in the States have found the same problem. So, most people just give up and just say it can't be done. You just got to find the right partner. So the guy that I found, they're in another field in the stainless steel market. Mm-hmm. So this is, I don't see him as our U.S. manufacturer. I see him as a business partner because he's taken as much risk as we are. He had to, luckily he had the space in the building that he was leasing. Half the building was empty. So he went ahead and rented that space. He's having to hire, new employees. So it's as big a risk for him as it is for us. So
interesting. I guess if he's got to retool and he's kind of going from one industry to another, I can see that. But a lot of the, like my product and the companies I'm dealing with, it's like right up there, right in their wheelhouse, almost exact same thing they're doing, just a variation of it. And my experience has still been the same. So it's been very disappointing to be honest with you.
It's been very frustrating for us as well. But, now that we've found one and we're moving forward, it's very exciting. I feel like, I'm finally a true entrepreneur.
Okay,
moving forward.
I think we kind of jumped into talking right away. You want to tell us about your product and what it is?
Sure. So we sell a stainless steel double-walled mug. It's perfect for coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon, beer and cocktails in the evening. I primarily wanted to sell it as a beer mug, but all of our customers are using it for, coffee and tea and everything else. It's double walled, so there's air on the inside, so it keeps your drink very cold, hot drinks hot. There's no need for a coaster because it doesn't sweat. Basically it's a beer mug that we call Demand Mug. And we're doing a Kickstarter campaign right now to try and raise the capital to get them made here in the States. It's going to be a big upfront investment for us.
Okay, and is your Kickstarter, is it going yet? Is it started?
Yeah, we launched on Monday. So
okay.
We're doing 30 days, so it should be going for the next 26, 27 days.
Okay, you should be about a week into it when this episode releases. So if you're listening to this, then how do we find your campaign on Kickstarter?
So if you go to manmug.com, you'll see the information in our header. You can go to all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all there in our bio. Or if you just go to kickstarter.com and just do a search for ManMug, we should be the first product that pops up.
Okay, great. Now, how many other products have you gone through the launch process with on Amazon as a private labeler?
You know what? This was the first one.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought you said you had one at least one before this.
No. So I was primarily hoping this would be just solely on Amazon, but it's kind of morphed into something more.
Well, that's a good thing, though. I mean, knowing all I've learned about Amazon private labeling, it is better. It's great to start on Amazon, but you have to almost from the beginning start planning on having alternative channels out there because at the blink of an eye, Amazon just shuts you down.
Absolutely. And, I was monetizing websites before that. And, the Google monster, the whole strategy is to get to the number one spot in Google.
Yeah.
But if you do something that they don't like, all of a sudden you're nowhere to be found and your business is just gone. So that was a very scary prospect.
Or
right?
they just, multiple times, I've listened to people doing niche websites all the time and made some feeble attempts at it myself. And Google just overnight decides to change the algorithm and you go from top to nowhere.
Absolutely. Well, they know people are trying to beat the system and they're doing their best to provide a good product to the public. So you can't be too angry at them, but at the same time, it's a lot of work to get to the top of Google. And then, like you said, overnight, they will change the algorithm. You'll wake up and the day before you made a couple grand and today we've got zero.
And then you got to start all over learning how to work the algorithm
absolutely. Again. It's a constant game. And I think that's what I didn't like about it. So when I heard about the white label products on Amazon, it kind of rang home immediately. So, and like you said, I don't want to be strapped down to the Amazon as well. So we started doing like beer festivals here around San Diego, just renting a booth, getting out there and selling mugs physically. Mm-hmm. And that gave us a great opportunity. We were getting direct feedback from our customers. And each time we did that, we found something new that people wanted. So we just kept building from that. One thing we found is they really wanted it customized. So we went out and bought a laser engraver.
Oh, really?
So okay. I put this $20,000 laser in the spare bedroom of my house. And last Christmas, I was just cranking them out.
Wow.
Nights and weekends. And now we finally moved into a small warehouse that we're quickly over getting too big for that space. But so now we personalize the mugs. Another feedback that we found is they really wanted them made here in the States. So that just brought home the fact, my passion was to try and find a U.S. manufacturer. So that just kind of told me I was on the right path. And a couple of things here and there, but it was really valuable just getting out and talking to customers.
Yeah, so that's interesting about throwing your product in front of customers and hearing live feedback from people. Some of that stuff's just invaluable. At times, it kind of becomes frustrating because you're thinking, Okay, you almost get frustrated with somebody that's got some wacko idea or an issue with your product, but you got to remind yourself, wait a minute, these guys are the customers, so I really have to listen to what they're saying here.
Yeah, sometimes, you can't please everybody, but when you keep hearing the same feedback over and over again, then you got to start paying attention.
Mm-hmm. And so how long have you had a quasi-finished product where you've been able to start exposing it to your market?
See, we bought the laser engraver in November of last year. So we put the website up and started taking orders right at the end of November.
So you had the mugs. You started getting your first version of the mugs about the same time?
Yes. Well, I launched in October of 2014.
Oh, wow.
And I bought 1,000 units, and I was sold out within a month.
Really?
And the problem with getting products from China, or at least, this type of product, it took me literally 4 months to get new inventory. By the time I ordered it, by the time they produced it, traveled on the boat and made through customs, it was right around 4 months. So it was very hard to buy that much inventory up front without, a huge investment. So when I ran out of mugs that first time, I didn't get them back until March of 2015. So I was out of mugs for like 3 months, and it was excruciating.
Yeah, and if your primary sales are on Amazon, you get this momentum going because your sales are going real well, and then you run out of inventory, and then it takes 4 months to restock. You might as well, you're starting completely over because you've gone off the radar for so long. Your sales have gone to zero.
It's crushing. It's a crushing feeling.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's so hard to gauge because you don't know if anybody's going to buy these. You don't know how much to buy up front. Certainly for me, I couldn't really afford too much more than I bought. So yeah, that first time I ran out of inventory, it was hard.
And obviously the turnaround time, it took you a while to get the American manufacturing going, but obviously the turnaround time is much better on that, huh?
Yeah, so they're able to mail us out mugs daily if we need it. So that's going to be a huge help in helping us scale the business. And another thing, so when I was just doing Amazon, so I was shipping directly from China to Amazon, and I never really physically touched the mugs. So I never really was able to see what kind of quality they were. When we bought the laser engraver, I was shipping some to Amazon and then some to my house personally. And I was just going through each and every mug. And I found literally 40% of our inventory had dents or dings, or the handle was getting ready to fall off. Oh, so wow. It was eye-opening on just how poor the quality was. So, of course, we didn't sell those damaged mugs to our customers. We now have a section in the warehouse that are just full of damaged mugs that we sell for half price on our website. They're called scratch and dents. But it was just really eye-opening on the lack of quality control over there. And when I brought it up to my contact, he blamed it on the shipping company. He blamed it on everybody else except for his factory. It was extremely frustrating.
Yeah, that's where it does get tough dealing with the Chinese manufacturers. You've got not only the language barrier and the customs barriers, and not like only import customs, but cultural customs. And it does get, when you start having issues or problems, it gets tough to deal with them. And obviously they're about 12 hours off time zone wise, and trying to get on Skype with them.
I also felt like I was the small fish in a big pond, because he was telling me, he had a German company selling, they just bought 150,000 mugs, and here I am buying 5,000 and 7,000. So it just made me feel like I wasn't big enough for him to kind of listen to me. Right. And he just kept giving me excuses. I did a lot of research, finally found that there's a common practice called an AQL inspection. So basically you hire a third-party inspection company in China. Mm-hmm. Once your inventory is ready to ship, they'll come in, they'll take a percentage of the inventory and inspect it. They take pictures of the damaged goods. They write a full report. So I finally did that, and of course they failed the inspection by the standards. And
at 40%, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, so this shipment was only 15% damaged, but the standard, I want to say, is like 4%. It is a passing grade, so they did a lot better, but they still failed. And his reaction was that, so the typical practice in China is that the factory will pay off the inspection company, kind of like a bribe, and that the third-party company that I hired refused to take that bribe. And so he blamed it on the inspection company as just being mean to them. So even then, he wouldn't take responsibility on their poor quality.
Wow. Yeah, so those kind of things made you start looking around for American manufacturing again, I assume.
Well, I was looking for U.S. manufacturing the whole time. It just kind of confirmed my resolve.
Jeez. All right. Well, so are you willing to share like some numbers with us? Like, what are you ordering or buying or selling on a monthly or daily basis, or where are you at now with your volume and stuff?
With you. So we are currently doing the Kickstarter campaign, and we've got an estimated delivery of U.S. mugs by late November, early December. So I would say 6 months ago, I bought my last shipment of inventory from China. I was just kind of fed up. So we're trying to be conservative with our sales. We're not pushing as hard as we should be, just because we don't want to run out of inventory before December rolls around. Mm-hmm. So I kind of lowered all of our marketing spending, and so we're basically kind of on autopilot right now. We're selling enough to pay the bills, to keep the lights on in the warehouse, but we're not being aggressive with our marketing. We're kind of waiting for U.S. mugs. So the numbers have been kind of low, but kind of by design, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and then when you start getting this shipment in, you're just going to ramp up again.
Yeah, and we're hoping this Kickstarter campaign will kind of act as a marketing for us as well, and get some eyeballs on our company that we normally wouldn't have gotten. And with the timing with the holidays and Christmas coming, these are perfect Christmas presents. So we're hoping we're going to kind of do a big pivot right here on this Kickstarter campaign and start really doing well going into the next year.
Now, with the Kickstarter campaign, did you put that whole thing together yourself, or did you hire one of those companies that can do it all for you? How'd that work out?
I spoke to several consultant companies who do that. One company that we were really interested in working with was kind of a smaller company. They told us that they just didn't have the manpower to take our project on. And then a couple other companies were asking for so much percentage on the back end that really didn't make sense for us. So every time I spoke to one of these consulting companies, I kind of let them do the talking, and I took pretty detailed notes. And so we're trying to do it ourselves, implementing some of their tactics. If in a couple of weeks it doesn't look like we're going to meet our funding goal, then there's a couple companies that will take us on from that point on to help us get through the end. But right now we're doing it all of ourselves. Yeah,
because Kickstarter has gotten to the point where Kickstarter is so competitive, you almost have to have it's not a, hey, I'm a average Joe Schmo and I need some help on my product like it was in the beginning. Now it's like full-blown marketing production companies that are doing the Kickstarter campaigns, and those are the ones that are most successful. So it's almost like it's not even like it was meant to be in the beginning.
You know what? I feel like the whole crowdfunding campaign is the new Google AdSense or the new Amazon white label. Because as soon as we launched, we just got inundated with emails from people wanting to help us with the campaign. These individual consultants, and I'm talking, maybe 100 emails a day from these people.
As soon as you launched your Kickstarter, you had 100 emails a day for people offering to help you on your Kickstarter?
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's gotten out of control, hasn't it?
So I feel, that's kind of the new fad these days, the new trend on entrepreneurship is, and I kind of feel like they're preying on people because, Kickstarter is an all or nothing. So if you don't reach your funding goal, you don't get anything. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they're new at the crowdfunding game. And so I feel like these people are kind of preying on that, promising the world.
I don't have a lot of nice things to say about Kickstarter. Over a couple years ago, I spent all this time trying to put in this Kickstarter campaign. Actually, it was to raise money to start this podcast that I'm talking to you on right now. And
how'd it go?
Did all this effort. I put it in, and they came back and said, we've rejected your offer because we don't think your idea is creative enough. So
really?
they didn't even let me launch. And it wasn't it wasn't a professional production, but it wasn't that bad.
Well, let the people decide.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was, I think a few months after that, I heard that because some other funding campaigns like Indiegogo and Fund Me and there's a bunch of them now.
Yep.
All those started coming out and they're like, whoa, we got competition, so we better start accepting everybody. So now I guess they don't turn people down because it wasn't creative enough. But ever since that happened, this Kickstarter's left a bad taste in my mouth because I stopped what I was doing for a month or two just to work on my Kickstarter campaign, and then only to have them just turn it down at the very end and not even let me launch.
That would be frustrating. Yeah. I originally was going to go with Indiegogo solely because of the flexible funding. So if you don't reach your goal, they still give you the money, but at a higher interest rate. So we were originally going to do that, but after speaking to the consultant companies, they all said go with Kickstarter because it's such a bigger platform and there's more people, looking at Kickstarter campaigns. So that's what we decided to do. And now I've got my fingers crossed, hoping we can reach out to enough people to help us out.
And what is your funding goal?
We set it at $75,000. That's going to buy us the mold for the mug as well as a little bit of inventory up front.
Okay, and you've already been going for just this week, right?
Correct. Since Monday.
Only 3 days.
2.5 days. Yeah.
Okay. And you got any activity yet?
Yeah. So it looks like we've got 87 backers for almost $9,600.
$9,600.
Yeah.
Holy cow. In less than 3 days. That's awesome.
Not too bad. We were hoping to do a little better, but we're very happy so far. So Kickstarter, just like Amazon, just like Google, has a certain algorithm that you try and beat. So if you get to 200 backers per day, you get kicked up into their popular category. And then that's when they start promoting you with their newsletter and their blog. So we're really hoping to get that 200 backers that first day, and we got about a quarter of that. So we're hoping that U.S. manufacturing is important to enough people that they'll want to help us out.
Yeah.
Even if it's a $1 donation, it goes towards that number of backers daily. So that will be a huge help as well.
So realistically, how much time and effort did you put into your Kickstarter campaign? Do you have somebody that really knows what they're doing on your team?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So there's 4 of us on the team. I do video production as a profession. So
wow. Yeah, there you go.
We did the video ourselves. Our other partner is a professional graphic artist. So she's done all the artwork and the graphics for the page. She put a lot of work into that. I think it looks amazing. The other partner is a professional photographer. So he's been doing all the imagery. And the other partner is a social media marketing person. She really knows her stuff there. So I think we've got a solid team. So we've put in a lot of hard work building up to this. And it's still daily a lot of work, trying to keep it going.
Wow, that's awesome. So let's throw a little veteran stuff in there. Most of your key partners are also veterans?
Yeah, so 3 out of the 4 of us are veterans, and then the 4th is engaged to a veteran. So
that counts, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so how much, from beginning to end, how much of what you learned in the Marine Corps helped you through this process? I mean, I know you've been out of the military for a long time, since '97, but I mean, do you find yourself going back to, discipline and mission accomplishment, and I'm not going to quit kind of mentalities a lot getting through this?
It's funny. I still think about the lessons I learned in boot camp, still to this day. I went in Marine Corps, straight out of high school. And I think the Marine Corps changed my life. The whole discipline and self-confidence has really allowed me to do this. Over the last 18 months, I've heard no over and over and over again from U.S. manufacturers. But, I always think about, my Marine Corps days. And when you have a mission to do, mission comes first. You just got to keep driving. And literally, I still think probably on a weekly basis of an incident in boot camp, of something I learned, and even, my 4 years in the fleet.
One specific incident. Are you talking about one specific incident in boot camp?
Yeah, memories pop up, and when they play the games of going back and forth. At the time, you're like, this is ridiculous, As a matter of fact, so I live here in San Diego, and my 4-year-old son, we take him to the daycare, and yesterday I picked him up at MCRD. We only go there every so often, but so I was driving around MCRD watching the recruits and, seeing them playing those games of stop, go, stop. Just brought almost a tear to my eye. But just the perseverance, that teaches you.
That's awesome. All right. Well, hey, Brad, unfortunately, we're getting close to the end of our time, because I could talk Amazon private label stuff with you all day. But at this point, do a shout out one more time for how we find you guys, and in particular, how we can find you on Kickstarter to support your campaign. And
sure.
Then also maybe you could wrap it up with anybody from the veteran community out there that's looking to get in entrepreneurship, whether it's, bringing a product to market on Amazon or some other way, or just any other business to get into entrepreneurship instead of, trying to find some escape from that job. What kind of advice would you have for them also?
Okay. So our product is Man Mug. It's a double-walled stainless steel beer mug. You can find us at manmug.com. There's links to our Kickstarter campaign there, as well as all of our social media. You can also go to kickstarter.com, do a search for Man Mug. We're trying to really kickstart this revolution of U.S. manufacturing. As far as we know, we will be the only company that is producing a stainless steel drinking vessel in America. All these products, all the tumblers are very popular. The water bottles, hugely popular. They are all made overseas. So we're trying to kickstart that revolution of getting them made here again. So once we get this mug done, we plan on going into tumblers and water bottles and other stainless steel products. Any advice for veteran entrepreneurs? I think with entrepreneurship, you just have to do it. You have to listen to the free podcasts, get all of the advice, listen to what's working, what's not working. But being a veteran, you have a huge advantage over everybody else. You know what it means to have a mission and to accomplish that mission at all costs. And you've got those problem-solving skills, because you're going to find some problems. That's what being an entrepreneur is just trying to figure things out. And it doesn't matter what branch you were in, I know that you learned problem solving and teamwork. You know how to run a team, and you know how to figure things out. So if that's really what you want to do, you just have to take action and just do it.
All right, Brad, well said. And we look forward to success in your Kickstarter campaign and selling the hell out of those stainless steel mugs. I'm looking forward to it. So maybe we check back in with you in a year or so and get an update on how you're doing. But until the meantime, these two Marines and these two veterans are Oscar Mike. Hey, were you going to say one more thing? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I just want to say thanks for having me. I was honored to be on the show.
All right, you bet. We're out of here.
Oscar Mike.
Oscar Mike. As you can tell from listening to the Veteran on the Move podcast, interviews are a great way to tell your story and spread the word about your business. If you would like to get booked as a podcast guest, I recommend Interview Valet. You can check out Interview Valet at veteranonthemove.com/valet. Be sure to check out Thrive15.com, the world's premier online education platform that helps entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and intrapreneurs learn how to start or grow a successful business. Start your free 30-day membership by going to Thrive15.com and use the promo code VETERAN. Thank you for listening to Veteran on the Move, your pathfinder to freedom. If you like the show, leave us a review on iTunes. Reviews are always greatly appreciated. So until next time, this veteran is Oscar Mike.